All right, back into it. We got Corbade versus Lucian Foster. It's a murder case. All right, we have mail. There's our law book. What to see if anything else has popped up. Again, if you're enjoying this series and you want to see more of it, hit the like button. Let's see what we have on Yield News. Oh no, I forgot what password I put. Oh, there we go. I thought it was numbers. All right, we'll check out the browser. Let's see what the news has. Investigation underway as corpse found in frozen food container. A shocking discovery was made during routine inspections at Courtroom Port when the opening of a frozen food container revealed the lifeless body of a man. The deceased has been identified as Miles Petter, a ship engineer and employee of the container's owner company. It is reported that the vessel he was assigned to had suffered a major engine malfunction at sea, allegedly due to insufficient checks by Petter before its departure. What makes this case even more intriguing is the alleged altercation and physical altercation between Petter and Lucian Foster, the CEO of the company, as described by some of the ship's crew members. The incident unfolded as port authorities conducted their standard container checks, aiming to ensure that the cargo was properly stored and secured. Upon opening a particular container, the gruesome discovery of Miles Petter's lifeless body sent shockwaves throughout the port. Miles Petter, a respected ship engineer, was last seen aboard a vessel that experienced a catastrophic engine failure in the middle of the ocean. Initial reports suggested the malfunction might have been preventable, as it allegedly resulted from inadequate pre-departure inspections carried out by Petter himself. So he's got a track record of being lazy. It's no reason to be dead, though. Adding another layer of complexity to this case, several crew members on the same vessel have come forward with startling claims. They assert that Miles Petter was involved in a heated argument and physical altercation with Lucian Foster. Yeah, we know that. According to their accounts, the dispute between Petter and Foster escalated to the point of physical violence. Ooh. Connie continues to improve. Let's see what we got at the Post. Okay, they haven't really updated those yet. They don't hate me yet. Actually, his first case was not that simple. When I sat in the courtroom and watched, I saw a confident, open-minded young person. The decision he made regarding our border security also made us question the honesty of the officials, not to mention the grim picture it painted for our country when officials were found guilty, or worse, when officials abused their power. Another question is, could this young judge have hesitated when making a decision in a case involving a government institution? What? Nonsense. Although the opposing views of the government, their overall attitude to me is positive. My relationship with the Supreme Court is quite good. It doesn't seem like I'll have any problems these days. The number of people who love me among the public is greater. I think they will stay me for a while. My spouse gets angry with me occasionally, but for now, our relationship is manageable. Oh, great. Quickly summarize the outcomes of your recent case. The case regarding our border security didn't generate much interest among social media users, so there was no significant reaction or praise in that regard. However, some citizens thought the case demonstrated our country's reciprocity capability in matters related to politics. When the case was covered by the written press, it didn't hold a highly prominent position, so the decision didn't receive extensive scrutiny. The government, on the other hand, is generally pleased with the outcome of the case and the lack of significant media attention. The Ministry of Justice was curious about your performance as this was your first case. Okay, that tells me nothing. Government is requesting that you investigate the crime scene for the murder. Okay, murder case. Prepare the documents for your upcoming case. Left them on the table in the courtroom. Is that the smell of garbage in our street? Suspicious death. Okay. Anything? Okay. Number of correct decisions. 1. Okay. Well, I guess that means I did it right then. Look at me. Look at me. Do we just look at the law? Okay, that's still got the human trafficking one. All right, I guess we do the pretrial stuff. Oh, we gotta go to the crime scene. Yes. You can click on the points marked with arrows to obtain detailed information about evidence at the crime scene. Okay, there's just two. At the crime scene, a corpse identified to belong to Miles Petter was discovered within the container. Additionally, a strong odor is present inside the container. The container is a cold storage unit. Upon the thorough examination of the corpse, it was determined that there was signs of physical assault. Furthermore, there are instances of frostbite and loss of function in various limbs of the deceased. I mean, with this much blood, there is way more. There's a lot more than just basic physical violence. In investigations conducted by the crime scene team, 2 pills were found on the ground. When the discovered pills were examined in detail by experts, it was determined that they were antidepressants. These pills are sold with a prescription, as they require a red prescription. Therefore, it can only be obtained with a doctor's recommendation. Occasionally, individuals who use them may experience suicidal thoughts, especially in the early stages. That's kind of planted. I mean, that's what you're reaching. I know there's a word for it. I didn't play enough of the other Ace Attorney games to know what the word is. I mean, yeah, there's not much here. Okay. Said we had 3 males. I thought we had something else. Um no. Well. All right. Okay. That still says human trafficking. All right, let's do the pretrial. See what we have here. Although your spouse may not be entirely pleased with the answers given to the questions about your work, they find the answers sufficient for now. Oh, that went up. She could have went to the crime scene with me. All right, let's see what the plaintiff's wanting here. Hopper Gray. The body of Miles Petter was discovered inside a frozen food container during routine inspections at the port. Following a thorough investigation by our prosecution, it has been determined, based on witness testimonies and examined evidence, that the incident was committed by Lucian Foster, the CEO of the container's owner company. Therefore, we request the punishment of the defendant. So, I guess 2 things here is Lucian Foster on the boat, and the body had been in that container for a long time because it had frostbite. And were those pills actually the dead dudes? Because that's the thing is, because, and did he have them in his body? You know what I mean? All right, they want punishment of the defendant. Okay, got it. Makes sense. Laura Martinez. My client, Lucian Foster, is a prominent and respected businessman. We acknowledge that there was a heated argument between him and the deceased due to the engine failure experienced during the recent ship voyage. However, Lucian Foster has not seen the deceased after that argument. He personally desires a thorough investigation to shed light on this unfortunate accident. However, he denies the murder allegations brought against him. Okay, no objections to anybody. Man, I picked this one last time. Let's stick with it. Supreme Court. Crap. The lawsuit begins. The girl's boots are coming through the thing. He's a little tense. Okay, that's good to see. Okay, the plaintiff was heard, defendants was heard. I kind of like looking at the law. Any person who intentionally causes the death of another person shall be deemed to have committed the offense of homicide. If the crime of murder is considered to be a result of discrimination based on factors as religion, language, or race, it is punished with a more severe penalty. If the crime of murder is committed with a sense of brutality and premeditation, it starts from 18 years and can be increased up to 100 years. Well, he was already mad at him from the other boat failure, so. Okay, let's see what we got here. During routine inspections on the Cabardi port, a frozen food container was opened, revealing a lifeless body of a man. It was later determined that the deceased was Miles Petter, an employee of the container's owner's company and a ship engineer. The ship experienced a major engine failure in the ocean, and it was learned that this happened due to Miles Petter's failure to conduct adequate checks before the ship's departure. Okay, so they're both on the ship together. Okay. We got a lot of witnesses and the plaintiff and defendant. Well, we don't have the plaintiff, excuse me. We got the footage. I do want the autopsy report. Drugs were found. So were those pills his? I don't know what this 25% means though. So he was in there for a long time. He'd been knocked out, and yeah, he did have pills. If we only knew how much of. So they'd been in there for a while. I don't know how to read that. Since not all employees were on the ship the day of the incident, to identify the body could not be clearly determined. The identify of the body could not be clearly determined. It should be identity by the police. Based on the statements of the people at the scene, it was concluded that the body belonged to Miles Petter, and his brother was invited to identify him. His brother confirmed the body belonged. So it happened on the 14th, but that doesn't really tell me anything else. I wish this had a date on it. Yeah, this doesn't show anything. Does it show on the autopsy where the... It shows on this. I was wondering if it pointed to which side of the head the bashes was on, if the dude was left or right-handed. All right, let's hear the plaintiff. Let's find out some stuff. Under what circumstances and how was Miles Petter's body found? Your Honor, port officials conduct routine inspections of containers. On the day of the incident, during one such inspection, Miles Petter's body was discovered inside a container. Since the container was for frozen food, the victim's body was found in a frozen state. Oh, okay. As the plaintiff, on what grounds do you claim Lucian Foster as the murder suspect? After inspecting the crime scene, we, the prosecution, interviewed individuals who were in the vicinity at the time and who knew the victim. In almost all these interviews, the name of Miles Petter's boss, Lucian Foster, came up. Well, that's kind of still hearsay. We learned that due to a technical issue on the ship, the victim was subjected to several severe insults, and physical violence by Lucian Foster. Additionally, Lucian Foster is prone to losing control due to the prescription medication he uses. But it said it was suicidal. Why would it... That's being suicidal is very different than taking somebody else out. Do you have anything else to add regarding the incident? In the evidence we presented to the court, you can clearly see the footage of the argument on the security camera. Additionally, the autopsy report of Miles Petter shows that although he died from freezing, there are several signs of assault on his body. Our prosecution asserts that the victim was assaulted and then thrown into the frozen food container where he subsequently died. All right. So it was Lucian's pills. They make you suicidal. So why did the body have pills on it? So we want to know which drugs were in the body. Argument did occur, but that doesn't mean Lucian is evil. I wish I could do a not equal to. I mean, I don't know. All right, let's defendant Lucian talk. He kind of does look like a punk, though. I'll be honest. What was the reason for the argument during the ship's voyage? It was a disagreement over the engine malfunction and the associated responsibilities. Since this situation was extremely serious, threatening the safety of lives, I got angry with him and warned him to be more careful. Okay, that was kind of blunt. You're accused of killing Miles Petter. How do you respond to this accusation? I am in shock and deeply saddened. You argue with someone about a legitimate issue, and then this person dies, and you get the accused. This must be one of the worst things that can happen to a person. I completely deny the accusations. I would never go so far as to kill someone. Just beat them up, huh? Prosecution claims that the medications you regularly use sometimes cause you to lose control. Is this true? This is a very general question. What does it have to do with the case? I guess it's not true. I mean, sometimes the medications cause me to some difficulties, but I try not to let it affect those around me. Okay, he didn't want to answer that at all. Okay. Because it gives reason for him to do that. See, this is what I don't understand is this whole drugs in the bodies. Do these equal 86? Okay, so this is what caused the body. So frostbite's what killed the body. The crushes on the skull were only 14%, and the drugs had a lot. Again, I would like to know what drugs were in it. But if nobody's seen him totally do this, then, I don't know. All right, let's start with Ronald Hall. Let's mix it up a little bit. Officer Ronald Hall, when you arrived at the scene, did you notice anything unusual? When I first arrived, I saw a crowd gathered around a container, and everyone had a look of disgust and shock on their faces. Then I noticed someone lying on the ground, and I immediately secured the area. Okay. Was Lucian Foster there? No, he wasn't there. I mean, not when I arrived. He must have been informed later because he came afterward. Okay. Did you find any suspicious circumstances or individuals during your investigation? For instance, how did Foster appear when he arrived? During my investigation, I did not come across any suspicious circumstances. As for Lucian Foster, to be honest, he seemed indifferent. Perhaps he was in a state of shock and didn't know how to react at the moment. It's difficult to say, as trying to interpret someone's feelings can be quite challenging. Well, Ronald Hall, you're no use. I'll just be honest. I mean, I don't really know what you've added to this case. All right. Charles Martinez. Wonder if he's kin to the other guy as a lawyer. Security, Charles. As the person who opened the frozen food container, how do you experience the incident? I don't know how to describe it. I went to the boss's office and brought the medication he requested. Oh, he looked extremely tense. I gave him medication and left the room, then opened the container for routine inspections. Okay, so the dude needed his medicine to calm down, I guess. So something had happened because of that. When I saw him lying on the floor covered in blood, I was in utter shock. What condition or position was Miles Petter's body found inside the container? His body was on the floor inside the frozen food container, and I really feel sick when I remember it. He was covered in blood. There was also a very strong stench inside the container. You mentioned earlier that you brought medication to your boss. Do you know what the medication is for? I feel like in this game, the judge is asking questions that attorneys normally would. His body was on the floor inside the frozen container. It didn't. Of course, everyone, the entire crew knows this. I'm talking about our boss needing psychiatric help and medication because he is a tense person. However, I definitely don't think he would go as far to kill someone. Okay, so there's. I don't know why I worded it that way. That's so stupid. Psychiatric medicinal workings? What the hell? Um, huh. Okay, Brian Scott, let's see what you bring to the table. Worker. What can you tell me about your last conversation with Miles Petter? It was right after the argument, but it was a very brief conversation. Told him to stay calm, that everyone makes mistakes, and that things would be okay. We didn't have any other conversations after that. Did Miles Petter have any issues or conflicts with anyone else in the crew? That's a good question. As far as I know, no. Miles was a very lively person and was liked by everyone. However, it was known that he had been going through some family issues recently and he had become a bit withdrawn. I think the mistake he made on the ship was related to this distraction. So those pills, maybe, I don't know. The pills are very scandalous. Because I don't know if they're his pills or somebody else's. Do you believe Lucian Foster could kill someone? Sir, as you can imagine, accusing someone of murder is a very serious matter. Lucian Foster is a perfectionist. And yes, he doesn't like mistakes. And I could say he is tense. But if I thought he could kill someone, I wouldn't work at his company. Hmm. Hmm. Man, this is Robert Taylor. I hope you've got something that helps us break this open. What was the argument between Lucian Foster and Miles Petter about during the ship's voyage? It was about the engine malfunction and responsibilities, and it was a major mistake. How can I say this? It was a situation that endangered the crew's safety. Wow, Robert. Okay, come out and tell me how you really feel. What would you say about the seriousness of the scaled argument? At that time, I was in the boiler room. They were yelling at each other so loudly that I wondered what was going on and went upstairs. When I got up there, I saw that both of them were in a very heated argument. I should also add that they were using severe insults toward each other. Okay, that's. What did you do afterwards, and did you witness anything? I returned to my post, and honestly, I thought Miles would lose his job. After such a serious argument with the boss, no one could stay employed. I didn't witness anything else. There is literally nothing here. It's all literally like. There's an argument, but there's nothing that points to. Because the frostbite's what killed him. I mean, this is Lucian. And this is the dude that just walked up. I just. Somebody's obviously murdered this guy. The files were examined. Which files? Yeah, I've examined them unless it's telling me I'm missing something here. And I don't know why it throws this date here. I don't think. I don't think there's enough here to put it on him, though. Like they did argue, we don't have anything that's like. There's just nothing that I could really, and I don't know if this is how this game's just set up to make it so vague, but we can't really stretch. And it says intentionally. I just don't think there's enough to put it on him. Could he have done it? Sure. I'm gonna find him not guilty because I just don't think there's enough. Defendant 1. All right. $612. The government is working on a new immigration bill. What are your thoughts on the matter? We use immigrants as a workforce. Immigrants will disrupt our demographic structure. Man, that's just. It depends on how they come in, but yeah, sure. All right, so we'll find out. The next case will be Albert Neuron versus Kabardi Prison Administration. Rights infringement lawsuit. That sounds fun. All right, so if you want to see more of this, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking. Let me know if you think I got the case right. I would love to hear what you're thinking. Hey everybody, I'm Stephen Thomas. Subscribe if you have not. And if you enjoyed the video and you want to help the channel grow, all you got to do is hit that like button down below. Also, if you want to support the channel, there's a plethora of ways to do that down in the description. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.